All right. Are
We're
you
back.
ready for game number 3, Carlo?
Dude, I'm ready to see Weaver get banned for the third time, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, look at that first ban.
There's the silencer. What's the other one? Ursa.
Ursa, yeah, it's been Weaver,
Ursa.
Silencer, Ursa all three games, like all 2 games. If this isn't an Ursa ban, oh my gosh,
How did we know?
Eradicate,
How did we know? Premier
predictable.
Collegiate Dota casters. We just get it. Oh, Eradicate doing the draft. I love that. Now, do you think that the fact that Eradicate is tilted out of his mind is going to impact this game's draft? Yeah.
um, no, I feel like Eradicate's can recover his cool pretty well.
He's going to turn his anger into a winning draft here.
I think. I mean, I don't know. He is drafting, right? So I mean, this is on him. I feel like whatever he picks here is something that like he's like, I don't want to lose this game. I'm picking these heroes.
I don't think he picks Tiny. All right, he picked
Well,
Bane.
there's the first pick, Bane. Bane first picked in all 3 games. Are we right?
Coddle, it's back. Okay.
Does Bristle as well? Oh my
Coddle
gosh.
Bristle. Okay. So this lane is not unstoppable. We've seen what it does when it works, but this lane doesn't always work. Coddle is extremely low HP and has no mobility. If you can get on top of him, it's pretty easy to deal with him. Also, you know exactly what Coddle's doing. He's just playing around in the trees all lane.
Oh yeah.
Bristle doesn't have any control. He's not going to have Viscous Nasal goo in lane. So they're going to want to find a way to just beat down the Coddle or beat down the Bristleback lane. I think this time Eradicate might have something up his sleeve to deal with this. And there's the
Oh,
axe.
you get the
Right?
axe.
Xantho's back on his signature hero this series. A late Blink Dagger, but an effective one in game 1.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's fantastic against both of those heroes. Bristleback forced to man fight, and that's not what he does. That's not what he wants to do.
Yeah, he wants to do the opposite. He wants you to hit his back.
Yeah,
Bristly back. Not
and
his
Keeper of the Light,
delicate
so
face.
squishy. You get blink called on Coddle, you're just gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, Coddle can't afford to be locked down. The positioning, you need to have insane, like, you constantly have to be thinking about your positioning model. Because you're standing still for long periods of time.
Yep.
And yeah, Axe is just gonna hold you there, and you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't lane axe against this, right? That'd be beyond terrible, but it does like we were saying, offers a lot of potential in the mid game as far as
So
the
I'm excited to
matchup
see what
goes.
they do lane against it.
The Necro gets banned. That's honestly like one of the heroes that is not too bad against it. The Mana Leak is pretty rough.
And he has a lot of sustain in lane because Caudle and Bristle can play the slow game and beat you in regen, or they can play a faster game and beat you down with Illuminate Quill Spam. So
Yeah.
it really is what game you're going to play and how you're going to. Now we're going into the second phase of ban. Mirana is actually banned out by RIT, so RIT doesn't want to run Mirana Bane. Oh, I guess yeah, they already have. It would be a little awkward, although Bane and Axe set up the Mirana. There's no way to deal with Fiend's Grip so far for Stony Brook. So something to keep in mind is they do need to be stunned with either their other support or 2 other cores. And they're actually going to the reserve time. So they're a little bit stumped here. Looks like Eradicate's put some pressure on them with the big boy axe.
Yeah. Dude, what if we see an Eradicate? Oh, okay. Well, there's his Sniper Man. I was like, what if we see an Eradicate Invoker this game? Does he even play that hero?
I don't want to see Eradicate touch that hero. Man, that guy, he's still learning to use his mouse and keyboard at the same time. I don't think he can deal with Crosswest Exort.
Yeah, good point.
No, I'm
Good point.
joking. Eradicate's a monster with whoever he plays.
It's like it's great. It's good. It's really good with both of those heroes currently. So
I want to see what are they going to put Doggy on? What did you feel about the Doggy Earthshaker?
it was all right. It's a rough game to play Earthshaker, right? Because you just like their team just sits so far back behind Bristleback that you don't get a chance to get like a good blink echo.
Exactly, and Earthshaker is similar to Tiny in the sense that he wants to hit all his buttons at once, and then he has some downtime. And Stony Brook could take really long fights where heroes that want to hit all their buttons, like Tiny and Earthshaker, after they hit their buttons, they just sit there. While Stony Brook has no problem playing a long, slow fight. They constantly are applying pressure. They do fantastic against heroes that apply all the pressure at once and then have nothing left to add. I wouldn't mind seeing the Doggy tree again. I think Doggy had a huge
OD ban.
So what
Is
is
is Frankie just like a baller OD player? I feel like he is, if I remember that. Because OD is not like a hero that's pretty much seen ever, right? That hero is considered a dumpster tier hero. But
he can take over games.
Yeah, if I remember right from last CSL, I do remember seeing a lot of OD coming out from Stony Brook, so maybe that's just like a signature hero.
I just noticed, did Dark Raider not return to Stony Brook this year, or is he playing under a different name?
I was gonna say, unless he's playing under a different name, but I don't know.
I don't think Dark Raider's playing for them.
I mean,
he's
we're
on
not...
their roster.
Oh, he is, okay. But just not in the game.
Yeah, unless he's using a different...
10 seconds remaining.
No, it doesn't seem like it. I'm looking at the recorded matches because you'd have to use Dark Raider as his name on the website. Wow, so Dark Raider hasn't returned.
Bum bum bum.
I mean, they just took a game off RIT without Dark Raider.
RIT doesn't have Evident either.
Radiant team pick.
Ogre Magi.
What a hero.
So, I mean, there is a stun. However, they only have one stun so far to deal with Fiend's Grip. You can't mana leak Fiend's Grip unless you want to commit a Force Staff or a Blinding Light to it as well. And it's still not guaranteed. Fiend's Grip actually drains mana. A lot of people forget that. It gives the mana to Bane. So, I mean, a little bit of a counter to mana leak. So Bloodlust on... How do you feel about Bloodlust on Bristleback? I think Bristleback likes the movement speed more than the attack speed.
Yeah, it allows him to just chase down so much, and you're already just running for your life against a Bristleback if he's in front of you, and now you have a near hasted Bristleback with half the attack speed, or like half of his attack time reduced. Like, pretty scary.
Stony Brook loves the laning phase. Like, they favored it all 3 games so far. We're just 3/5 through the draft, and they've already drafted 3 strong laners. There's the Lina.
Ooh,
oh,
that's
so
an interesting early Lina pick. I feel like this is going to end up being a 4 Lina. I think they might be baiting this because Lina honestly is a great way to deal with the Bristleback Coddle lane. She just has a lot of magic damage in their early levels that can kind of prevent Bristleback from getting too aggressive. But they might honestly just opt to put Bane in that lane.
I mean, she could definitely go 4 because she'll follow up a Bane, she'll follow up an Axe, she has a lot of damage output. But as a core, she's going to build a Shadow Blade, and she farms decently fast. She could get an early Shadow Blade or an early Silver Edge. She has no problem getting a Silver Edge on Bristle with her long attack range. And when Bristle has his break applied, blow him up. I could see this going as a 4 or as a 2.
Yeah,
if
I agree.
It does go as a 2, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Doggy Earthshaker return. Lina Earthshaker double stun, and Earthshaker setting up Lina. As soon as Earthshaker sets up the Lina Light Strike array, Lina is likely going to get a kill, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of the strengths of the Lina pick, right? Lina has classically been a hero that flexes multiple positions. We remember at TI 2 years ago, she was just first picked in every game or banned in every game because she flexed as a 1 through 4. So
an elite player can control a game. She as much as she is very simple to, you hit your combo, you do a bunch of damage. There's a lot of room for finesse and a lot of different players. You'll notice a very large difference between a good Lina player and a bad Lina player. Yeah, I do kind of like it as a 2, but I'm not sure if Eradicate would pick his hero. He's last picked his hero every game so far, so it's likely that's going to be a 4.
Yeah.
It looks like Stony Brook isn't sure though. 20 seconds left.
I was gonna say they're burning a lot of their reserve time.
What are they doing? They were so confident with their first 2 picks, and now Eradicate's in ahead.
Team pick.
The Tiny.
Ooh, that hero has not won a game this series.
I feel like Tiny is becoming a little bit stale. That would be the word I'm gonna go with.
I don't get excited. The hero doesn't exist outside the laning phase in either of these matches. He's just a nuisance. He's a liability. And look at Stony Brook's team. If Bristleback doesn't win his lane, they have nothing.
The Tiny core is good against Lina traditionally.
Yes.
So we'll see. But like I said, I don't think this is a core Lina. So
but even then, Tiny blows up Lina. If Bristleback doesn't have a good game, what does Stony Brook do again?
And they have to rely on a high damage dealing core here.
They have nothing coming from their other 3 heroes. They really need to have another core that's going to be able to pull weight. That's going to be very reliable. Because Tiny and Bristleback are snowball heroes that potentially could be out as soon as the laning phase ends if they don't win their lanes. Now, Stony Brook has done a great job.
I mean, we talked about Stony Brook here using a lot of their reserve time RIT down to 26 seconds. So
maybe they're just laughing about
Viper. This
That's
is
That's a
a
break.
phenomenal pick.
Yep. Combos with that.
It's so good. We talked about, you know, Lena potentially being a 4. So like, what hero could they pick here? I think you safe lane the Viper. Like, why not? Like,
It doesn't matter where Viper goes. He beats Tiny and he beats Bristle.
Yeah, he beats Tiny and Bristle, and he's gonna most likely win any of the mid matchups.
5 seconds remaining.
That's such a great pick. I think this hero gets overlooked a lot, but on good Viper games, it feels inevitable that you just lose.
And speaking of a hero that can snowball out of the laning phase, I mean, he's a lane dominator. They don't have any hero that deals with Viper at the moment either. They have to pick a Viper. They have to pick Stony Brook has to pick a hero that deals with Viper. They have to pick a hero that is gonna do, but also do well in lane. It's likely gonna have to lane against the Viper. So they have to pick a hero that beats Viper here.
Yeah.
They have no other choice. Whereas after that, RIT still have another hero to pick.
Yeah, I was like, RIT has last pick here and can feel like they could flex this Viper to any lane. So if you're Stony Brook, I don't know how you potentially come out with a draft advantage here, right? Like this Viper will win whatever lane he goes to. Axe will most likely win, or at least go even in his lane, and then RIT still has last pick for the core matchup. So I just think this Viper pick is too strong, and they banned Tinker. I think it's a great ban.
Want to see it. Yeah, SBU did work with it.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. RIT does not have last pick. I'm crazy. I don't know what I was talking about.
I mean, they still have an idea of what Stony Brook wants here. So what is there a hero that jumps to mind that beats Viper? How does TA do against Viper? I know TA gets her refractions burned, but she's a lane dominator.
Nah, she does not do well against Viper. Viper just chews through her. But if Viper misplays it, then she will win pretty heavily. But
what about Shadow Fiend? Oh, there's a DK. So another hero that's going to survive Tiny's burst.
They want the opposite of last game, where you have kind of like semi-fragile cores that can't man fight this Bristleback. In this game, you've got Dragonite and Axe frontline.
What does Tiny do? Tiny's not a hero. Like what does Tiny do? He kills Lena or Bane. That's his game. He's a core role that can only deal with the supports.
Yep.
5 seconds remaining.
Tiny's already out of this game, and we haven't even gotten to the last pick. Hugna. Okay.
That's
very
a good
high magic damage.
That's a good pick, and I think Stony Brook is just all-inning on winning, you know, 2 of like the Bristleback lane and probably the Pugna lane, and just trying to take high ground, right?
Even
like
just get this being able to punish RIT very hard for the space that Bristleback Cod will make. Tiny and Pugna will be able to crush towers.
But like the Pugna versus Viper mid, I don't feel like that's good for Pugna.
I mean, it's probably Pugna's got to get some CS, right? Just nether blasting.
I mean,
Viper's also
potentially.
Doesn't Viper just sit in lane? Like
Viper's just gonna sit on your high ground and click you.
Yeah, because like, well, Pugna is like Dragonite in the sense that he would prefer to lane against someone who wants to go gank. Because as soon as you leave the lane, you lose your tower. But Viper is going to sit in lane all game. Dragonite's going to sit in lane for quite a while too.
So I think a lot of this comes down to how well this Bristleback lane does. If it does, you know, exceptionally well, they're able to push this Dragonite out of the lane, then, you know, SBU could take this. But I think draft-wise, RIT has the better draft. And like I said, this just keeps coming back to the Viper. This Viper, I think, is going to do way too much work this game.
And how do they deal with Fiend's Grip? They still don't have an answer to Fiend's Grip. They only have 2 stuns. And Tiny's not going to be stunning. Like, Tiny's stun is going to be used on his initiation. So that means if Bane gets Fiend's Grip off, Tiny has to go on Bane. I mean, his targets are only Bane and Lena. If Bane doesn't get Fiend's Grip off, then Tiny might have to hold his stun if Ogre doesn't hold his.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go right into game 3.
Yeah,
hopefully this is a good one. I'm actually really excited.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I feel like it has to, right?
Oh, you want some of this?
Ooh, bad Metatron into good luck.
Stu showing his true colors here. I'll go ahead and introduce the boys from Rochester Institute of Technology. We have Eradicate playing the Viper in the mid lane. Doggy going to be playing this Lena. I only have 2 fingers on Dragon Knight. Axe going to be played by Xanthos once again. And we're once again on that Bane. So how about you do us the favor of doing
I would
here?
love to do you a favor of introducing Stony Brook. So, going to put RIT, take him out of the throne and wear their crown. We have Shu returning with the triple mango build and the double quill spray on Bristleback. And then we have, are we actually going to see a fight right out the gate here? Wirt. Stop dying, man. I'm trying to introduce. Oh, perfect pause. Thank you. They're letting me introduce. We have on Ogre Magi up top, we have no Zom 1. Perfect pronunciation. Pugna has DC. That's our boy Frankie. He's going to try and rep up mid lane. He's been doing a great job with the mid lanes this game, although he has a bit of a strange matchup going against Viper. Coddle once again being played by matching greater than playing. Tiny desperately trying to have an impact this game is going to be played by, that's the Chinese translation for RIT stinks. And yeah.
Well, there you go.
Right into the pause.
So if let's just talk about what we think we're going to see here in these lanes, right? We have this Coddle Bristleback bottom again against this Dragon Knight Bane. I don't think it's going to be too effective. This Dragon Knight's just going to have a lot of armor. He's going to get a lot of regen. I think he'll be fine. What do you think?
There's lasting power in the Dragon Knight Bane. But obviously there's tons of lasting power in the Bristleback Coddle. I mean, Word is going to lane at half health. He hates that. Shu is already just abusing talk of magic.
Oh, okay. He's not going to get more quill stacks. Bane, quick hero.
Ooh, did he just miss?
Yeah, he missed both. I got that one.
Is going to give away first blood. There's the brain sap. Is he going to waste his tangos here? Oh, if he lives, it's not a waste.
Salves. Oh, no.
He gets his potion broken. He already has a dead up here. Is it a dead end? And he's taken out.
It's not worth it. They still lose.
He got a bounty, but then their bounty's stolen. Well, that is a first blood for Shu. We've seen what he's done on Snowballing Hero, and he's already started the snowball. RIT. Thought you, maybe they're sick of sitting in the throne.
We also acknowledge the fact that Wirt blew his salve and 3 tangos in that chase.
Yep. He's coming to lane with. He actually started the game with more money now.
Yeah.
That's never.
Not only does Shu come to lane with a stout shield and quelling blade now.
And actually, Shu's double quill spray hit both players there. He's bringing the damage. Well, it looks like we know how that lane's gonna go. And it is Doggy on the Lina, so it's a position for Lina. Excited to see what Doggy can pull off with this hero.
Let's talk about top lane. This Lina Axe combo versus Ogre Tiny.
So Axe wants to throw his Battle Hunger on the support player. The support player has to take a last hit from his core. But Ogre has very high regen. Ogre can't really man fight the Axe though, and he's just going to spend a lot of lane dealing with Lina. So it's pretty much... the supports are going to do their best to help the cores fight each other.
Quickly bottom, Dragon Knight's just getting dove.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's getting dove.
One more quill spray, actually illuminate. Wow, grabs them.
They're warmed up for this lane. They know what they're doing.
They're ready.
Now, have I told you about my hypothesis known as Bristleback Syndrome?
What's that?
That is where you play a game with Bristleback, you see a Bristleback, and at the end of the game they're extremely tanky and absolutely unstoppable. And because of how they ended the game, they play the hero like that way too soon and end up overextending and dying throughout the whole early game. Because they believe that they're tanky before it happens. And we even see Shu playing at extremely low health, very cocky against RIT. I mean, he's up 2 kills, and he just dominated them last game. But it seems like he's like sitting around at less than 200 health. Brain Sap is pure damage. Illuminate actually scotch. Well, we're gonna take a look at CS. We actually have 3 cores for Stony Brook in the top 3, and then Pugna gets a regen rune. Oh, wow. Great play!
What a play by Frankie there.
Disarm and then abusing the site. He's gonna go full. Oh my God, Eradicate's not happy.
That's a huge rune actually for him. That lane was kind of even in health and regen, and now Frankie has a massive advantage.
Oh yeah, Frankie just turns mana into CS mass. No, but Eradicate. Get in the range creep.
There, deny.
Now, once again, Tiny's probably not going to be able to come online until he gets a couple more levels in his spells, but it's not going to stop him throwing out a stun top lane. They're just looks like top lane. They just want to try and beat Doggy out because they know Xanthos is is very difficult to touch. And not only is he tanky, but he spins when hit him. We saw what Xanthos can do with Axe in a bad game. This game looks like it's going to go better for him. He's actually the top CSer for his team. Xanthos is going to be able to create the space that RIT needs to stop the Bristleback Coddle, or do you think that Axe is going to be able to deal with them?
I think Axe is just really good in this game. I don't know if it'll necessarily deal with the Bristle because he's having such a good start already, but I think what we will see here in a few moments is this Viper will start taking over his lane. Axe should start taking over top lane, and Dragon Knight should be able to start sustaining bot.
And then as soon as Axe gets linked, though, Bristleback is in an awful position because it sets up the
other actually came top.
There it is. They're going for it. They actually take the Tiny out.
Yeah.
Xanthos gets the last hit, putting him even closer to his first item. Xanthos is getting the game he wants right now. For once, Xanthos is finally getting a good game. It looks like they're just going to abandon I only have 2 fingers on Dragon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the plan, right? Like, yeah. It's exactly what you need to do. You just basically, Dragon Knight doesn't die level 1 and 2, gets his couple levels of Dragon's Blood, and he theoretically should be fine here.
Dragon Knight's gonna get some farm eventually, and he can do well with levels, just having Dragon form.
With this mid lane, this Lina wrap, she's gonna get it. He is
Doggy,
scouted by the ward.
He wants to play a roamer. There's the LSA, perfect. Followed up by the Dragon Slave. Doggy actually gets the last hit, but it's gonna buy some room for Eradicate one doing work in mid lane.
And this is exactly what I thought was gonna happen.
Does it matter how big Bristleback can get in, let's say we get a 13-minute Blink Dagger on X, right? That's not an insane timing to think of. It's not the fastest either.
He's going Vanguard first, so I think that's not unreasonable.
So 13-minute Blink Dagger.
I have only 2 fingers. Might die bottom right here. Shu is committing a real hard dive.
Illuminate misses. Shu really wants this kill. There's another. He's not going to get it, I think, unless he gets another chakra. 6 seconds. No, he's in range. Illuminate comes out. It's not going to be enough. There's the Quill Spray. She takes it. Bounty runes are up. Xanthos might die top lane. Here we go. Throwing a tree. Doesn't actually kill him. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a misplay there. And mid lane, here we go. Here's the sleep. Gonna set up for the LSA. There it is. And
Viper strike as well.
Bye.
So I think your Pugna is too important of a hero to sack this game. And his lane is definitely not ideal. We saw Stony Brook topping CS on all 3 lanes. Now Viper passing him as well as the Axe. So all that's left is really just I like this support duo of this Bane Lina.
They're doing an
so
excellent
good at
job.
roaming.
I love how they just gave up on trying to 2-on-2, and they're just this is the doggy I know.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. It's so easy for them to set up.
It's so smart for them too, because I mean, Dragon Knight died bottom, correct, but he didn't really lose a lot for it, and he'll just come back to the lane. Like, he's still finding experience. He's like halfway to level 6.
Yeah, he's out leveling. Getting solo.
The Bristleback's finding a lot of farm, right? But I don't think you're too upset if you're RIT, because your Viper is probably the most critical hero in this game. He's 2 levels up on Pugna, almost 2 levels up on Pugna. So.
Yep, and what I wanted to mention earlier is when Axe is going to set up for net talks, Axe is always going to have when he calls Bristleback will always be broken. Is Bristleback really going to be a threat? Actually, mid lane we're going to see Pugna. He's angry, but now there's a sleep. Doggy's not in range. He might still be able to get the LSA. Pugna's very low health pool. Eradicate gets the last hit as well. Look at these supports. This is insane. They're bringing it back a patch, and they're just roaming and killing constantly. Middle top.
Shu's going to get bot tower, it looks like, right here, and they're maybe trying to find Dragon Knight, but I'm surprised Dragon Knight's not sitting closer for the experience.
Oh, here we go. He doesn't have a TP, but he wants to go for this. Is he gonna get the deny? Come on, man. Oh, he's really baiting it. Come on, is he gonna die for this? Oh, Coddle!
There's he gets the deny.
I love it.
Huge. And he's gonna TP
and
out.
The courier delivered a TP. My man, dude. That's such a win for the abandoned Dragon Knight. He's still making things happen. In the meantime, Word and Doggy are setting up mid. Xanthos taking a stack with the creep wave. Or it's just actually right, I just don't know. All right, here we go. Pugna's running. There's the Ogre. Here comes the LSA in the call. LSA hits.
Saves the call, actually, so that was great timing.
Yeah.
Pugna coming in, though, does a lot of damage. Illuminate onto him as well.
Oh my god, is he going to die again?
Dude, this Pugna goes down. I mean,
he's sucking and he's chopped. And they pull Coddle up, so now it's a one-on-one bottom.
And Lena got the TP out. She doesn't actually even die to the tiny Coddle.
Dang, man, that's Doggy. Doggy Dota right there. He's here to fight. He's not here to lane. He just wants to kill heroes. He's bloodthirsty. Well, now Dragon Knight is left to solo against Bristle. He may not win the lane, but he's going to be able to stop Bristle from taking the tower, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, their bot tier 2 is probably already lost about a quarter of its health, so Dragon Knight should be fine here defending it. Hopefully,
and look at this. Everyone's coming bottom. Here we go. Look at this rotation. Shu is playing very aggressive. He has no mana. He almost doesn't even have enough mana for a teleport scroll. Here we go. Where are you going to put him to sleep? He is asleep.
There's
the LSA. He's broken. Well, it doesn't matter how good your laning phase is, man. If you stand in Nether Toxin, you are made of paper. Pugna's going to take this time. The Bloodlust Pugna. You know, I mean, that pushes really quick. Pugna pushes Bloodlust. He pushes even quicker. Can't deny it.
This Coddle is just annoying Xanthos so much. He just stole a triple stack camp from him.
Yes, that's what you gotta do, man. When you hit hard, you gotta hit hard. Go take the last hit. Pugna can't even show up mid anymore. Look at him, he's coming top to help out Tiny. Tiny doesn't need help pushing a tower, but why not? Just obliterate it.
There's not much Pugna can do right now. The hero is so fragile, and there's 3 great setup. There's just so much setup to take him out in these fights. So
Axe has the Blink Dagger queued up. He is 1100 gold away. And we're going to see Ogre get caught out. Word might put someone to sleep here to set up a kill. No, he's just going to back off. Xanthos wants to chase, though. He's going to cause pressure. All of RIT is in the top side of the map. So RIT wants something to happen. Doggy's looking to set up an LSA. Nope, Doggy gets the set up on. Obliterated. Viper Strike comes up. Might be able to catch the Tiny. Tiny for Alina is a great kill. Actually, Pugna for Alina is even better. Xanthos goes for the call. The sleeping Pugna doesn't really care too much. In the meantime, Tiny's going to die at the top side. And then they're not even going to use the shrine. None of them really need it. Well, there we go. We traded Lena for a Tiny. They'll take that for sure. How's the net worth chart looking here?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. Bristleback on top, as expected, right? I mean,
you couldn't tell that when he got ganked by another strike.
Yeah.
He just seemed like just another hero. Item build wise, what's he going for here? So he has the Vanguard. It looks like
he's gonna go the Lotus Orb.
So what's he want to get the Lotus Orb for? He wants to be able to...
I don't know. No.
Maybe Reflective Viper Strike or Dragon Tail. We're actually going to see Xanthos get caught out with the double damage. Here's... Oh, they have no way to stop this, do they?
Nope. He's out.
Very well done. RIT constantly TPing players out, taking advantage of the lack of stuns. We talked about this in draft. We were talking about how it's very difficult for them to beat Fiend's Grip, but another channel spell, Teleport. Bristleback's going to chase out Dragon Knight. We have top lane. The bottom lane is returned to top lane. Eradicate shows up. Bristleback knows he can't play around the Viper. Viper just messes the game up. Now he's playing quite aggressive. We might be able to get a big sleep here. She has very low mana.
He has Fiend's Grip now too. He gets to sleep on the...
Sleeps on... There we go. They're just going to back out.
They're just going to back.
They don't want to commit right here. They don't know what's going. They don't have... Actually, RIT has very little vision.
Yeah, I think RIT's fine just keeping the Dragon Knight in Bristleback's lane, right? Like, he is going to make enough trouble that Bristleback won't be able to like really successfully take towers super easily. And it's really just space for RIT because your cores on RIT, your supports, ultimately scale way better.
Actually, Ogre gets caught by an LSA in the creep wave. There's the Fiend's Grip. Support, beat down. Lena's lighting them up. They're not going to have the LSA perfect follow-up, but they are going to have the brains up to finish them off. Now, Shu is going to chase her on supports. Shu could be spending this time farming, but instead he's getting caught up by supports. In the meantime, Eradicate is farming. Dragon Knight is farming. Both Shu and Coddle are accomplishing nothing. Xanthos doing Xanthos things, always forgetting which side of the map is his home base. Just chilling out. This is like Moon Meander Axe. He's just always on the enemy side of the base.
He's like, why, hello there. What a taunt too, actually. Oh, now he's out. He's like, I see Ogre. Okay, you're fine.
He's just having fun.
I mean, Frank's actually taking so much damage from this.
3 heroes committed now to slow Xanthos now. Xanthos dealing with all the vision from both Life Drain and Illuminate. 4 heroes.
I mean, that was a lot of space, and it's going to turn into almost a tier 1 tower mid. They might be able to get the kill.
LSA, and there's the Luna, and oh my god.
Good night, sweet prince.
Bristleback come in here. They're really trying to take the tower. They're not going to have enough damage. Doggy gets disarmed. That's not going to do anything. Doggy TP's out in front of them once again. Not enough stuns. They can't control RIT. RIT's free to do whatever they want. She was trying to pressure the top tower, but Dragon Knight actually out-leveling Bristleback, managing to keep him at bay. Bristleback wants to take the jungle, and I think he realizes that's much too aggressive.
This Lotus Orb is so confusing to me. I'm not sure what I'm missing.
It's gotta just be the preemptive, like he doesn't want to get Dragon Tailed, he doesn't want to get Fiend's Grip. I mean, does it purge Fiend's Grip?
No, it doesn't actually like purge a stun.
Strong spells only, yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, what they really need is a Force Staff pickup on one of the supports, because Bristleback cannot be another Toxin. Coddle has Ag selected. I don't think they can afford that, and like they and what does Ogre have? Ogre still is rough start.
Is he like hoping to just like purge the brief fire, and that's like his thing? Like maybe to like I don't think you can purge Viper Strike either.
I think it's because he's the only one that can go in like front line. Like
just sit with Lotus Orb on him.
Yeah, he just wants to sit with Lotus Orb because Tiny wants to blink, Pugna wants to sit back, Coddle wants to sit back, Ogre can't really line.
Oh, Lina in the river. She's gonna go
down. She's gonna go down. Well, she gets caught out in Roshan. She's gonna try and get the Roshan kill. There's a stun. There's a stun.
Oh!
She gets denied. Doggy Dota, baby.
Roche says, "Get out of my house."
He doesn't. He's just chilling, man. Why you gotta interrupt him like that? And Bristleback can't seem to deal with Dragon Knight. Where last game RIT couldn't deal with Dragon Knight, this time RIT couldn't deal with Bristleback. This time Dragon Knight's all they need. Yeah. This game is looking very good for RIT, and I think it's only going to start looking better.
Let's also look at Tiny, right? Like Tiny, 15 minutes, just got his Blink Dagger, and who is he going to kill, right? Like this is such a hard situation for him to be in because he has to find this Bane Lina, and they've been roaming together. Or at least with another core, like we see right now, Bane behind Viper, Lina behind Axe. They've been doing this the whole game. So like, how do you find a solo kill potential right now?
But the thing is, like, does he even want to do that? Like, right now he's not farming. But if he's waiting for someone to show up to farm bottom. But like, what if it's Dragon Knight? What does he do? He's not killing Dragon Knight. Okay, here we go. Mid lane, we're gonna see an LSA connect, and Pugna's just destroyed Ogre. I mean, we just talked about how there's only one frontliner for Dire. If Bristleback isn't in a fight, everyone just has to run away from RIT, who can just run right at Stony. And here we go. Actually, the Illuminate's going to slow down the creeps. The heroes are ready to go, but there's not enough creeps to back them up.
We're going
to see... Oh, there's the blink reveal onto Bane. They're going to get a kill, but...
He gets him.
Nice. I think there was about a minute and a half where Tiny wasn't hitting creeps.
Yeah, so he finally gets a kill. And like we said, it's got to be one of the supports by themselves.
Yeah, and yeah, again, it's like that's what you did. You have a core committed to only killing supports. The supports aren't the problem. They have no way to deal with Nether Toxin. It seems to be the problem, and no way to keep Pugna alive. As soon as Pugna gets hit by one spell, Pugna dies.
And Viper isn't that tanky of a hero. Like he does have a good amount of magic reduction, but his health pool like isn't that amazing. So they can find ways to deal with him, but the problem is the majority of your damage coming out on Stony Brook here is magic.
Well, right? Oh no, Viper gets the deny. Axe is going to call it, and there's Pugna absolutely eliminated. Tiny shows up, doesn't even manage to kill the Lina. They want to get Xanthos. Lina gets destroyed by the Nether Ward. Xanthos gets picked up after. Standing in the break, Bristleback isn't scared, but now he's a little bit scared. Stunned in the break, he's getting absolutely melted. That's overconfidence right there. He's going to get taken out. Now Ogre's on the front line. They're going to commit Fiend's Grip to interrupt him. Viper gets taken out by the Tiny combo. That's what we want to see from a Tiny. But now Tiny's getting chased down. Are they going to be able to get a dot on him? Are they going to get a stun on him? They're going to beat him up. Brain Sap is up in 8 seconds. Blinding Light is going to keep Tiny safe. They have no way to catch him. Tiny going to do something fancy? No, he's just going to run away. Well, Ricky, the Pugna Ward seemed to do more than the Pugna hero.
Yeah, Pugna's Ward did all of his damage in that fight. It took out like half of Lina's health. It took out like a quarter of Bane's health. It took out a good amount of Vipers, actually, because his Viper Strike combined with his pool is actually a pretty decent amount of mana cost, so...
Yeah, and poor Doggy tried to cast the Blade with another ward. Whoops. Not going so well for him. But I mean, he's gonna likely die anyways. I do love that Tiny managed to get a Viper. I think that's the best thing Tiny could have hoped for, and Caudle getting him out of there, that's really what I want to see from Tiny.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was the best possible fight for Stony Brook. They got the heroes they needed to kill. They didn't necessarily get Dragon Knight, but they got the Viper out early. Tiny survives. Your Bristleback dying the way he did is really unfortunate. He ran through the...
I think he just...
What is this called? Nether Toxin? Yeah, he ran through Nether Toxin. He got stunned on the edge of it, so he wasn't actually broken, but he was facing them anyway, so it didn't even matter. And then he runs back through the Nether Toxin and it dies, so...
Yeah, I mean, they have Dragon Tail's a very long duration stun. 3 seconds at level 3. It's going to be 3.25 when he levels it up again. Bristleback can die in that. If you manage to see the damage done, Viper did nearly 3,000 damage before 20 minutes of that fight, and that's just destroying the Pugna and then putting an insane amount of damage on the Bristleback while he was standing in the Nether Toxin.
I do like the build Tiny's going for. He's going to pick up the...
Actually, Tiny's going to catch out a Dragon Knight, but you're going to Shadow Blade. Is there any sight? There's a Sentry, but that's not going to do anything.
No dust.
Dragon Knight's going to walk away. Now,
he's going for the Echo Saber. He knows that like he just needs to be like pretty much one of these sources of physical damage coming out from his team, and Bloodlust will help with that a lot. So he's picking up an Echo Saber for that additional burst, and hoping that maybe he can just keep solo killing the Viper as an option, and maybe not just the supports.
About to see a fight. Here we go. Dragon Knight walks right in. There's a Pugna. There's an amazing Nether Ward placed down. Axe gets caught up in the top, of Pugna's taken out on the bottom. In the meantime, we're going to see Grizzle Fiend Script on the break, and he is taken out. There's nothing left for RIT to defend the squishy supports. On the backside, Xanthos does get taken out, but Tiny is unable to continue to fight, so Tree is likely going to teleport out in 2 seconds.
And just off the mark, too. Do you see that?
By a hair. By a crumb of dirt on Tiny's rocky back.
Yeah,
bottom. Is Doggy gonna... No, Doggy can't solo kill without looking.
God. You gotta feel bad. Like, Bristleback is just... It feels so bad playing him in this game, right? Last game, you are this unstoppable force. In this game, you're just getting Fiend Script in a Nether Toxin, and you die in 3 seconds.
Did Bristleback have Lotus that fight, or did he finish it after he died? Because he could have Lotused himself and survived that Fiend Script.
I don't think he had it in the fight.
Okay, yeah, it might have been in his staff. I'm not entirely sure. That's a huge play though if you're going to rush it. And then that
I still don't understand this Lotus Orb. I feel like you're just better off getting a Yule's, like... or, I'm sorry, a Lincoln's, not a Yule's. Getting a Lincoln's or something, but...
I strongly feel that Caudle or Ogre needs to get a force. Caudle can't be committing for the Aghanim Scepter. They're not in the same position they were in last game where they could abuse the Aghanim Scepter to just put an insane amount of pressure on the enemy team. RIT doesn't really have a problem taking longer fights with all the regen. They also have they have the damage to kill Bristleback in one engagement. I don't think the Caudle Aghanims is going to do much for them as a Caudle Force Staff that gets Bristleback out of harm's way.
Yeah. And speaking of support items, Doggy finishes up his Yules, which is great. Helps him set up kills. And he's itemizing for a Force Staff immediately after. And I think this is probably one of the best items he can get for himself as well. It's fantastic at zoning away from Pugna. Like, Pugna is one of those heroes who, decreps you, throws the Nether Blast, and then goes and life drains you, and you just Force Staff immediately, and you're fine.
We're going to see Viper get jump mid, though. Here we go. Sentry Ward pops up. They're actually going to go on the Lina. It's left Tiny, but it's a little bit late. Eradicate's going to TP out in the middle of them, probably calling for his team to back up. Eradicate makes it out. They traded a smoke for a kill.
Word TPs out on the side there, too.
RIT has been doing an insane job just getting out fights with teleports. The lack of control on Stony Brook is like, this is what happens. Like, the RIT is doing such a good job taking advantage of the lack of control. They've teleported. That must have been the 4th or 5th time they teleported away from the entire enemy team. Now Shu really wants to get aggressive in enemy jungle, and this might just be Bristleback syndrome. I don't think he's able to make these plays. He has to be very safe, very careful.
He's opting for a Blade Mail next. Definitely a good item this game. I think he probably should have just gone an immediate Vanguard into Blade Mail. Maybe a Hood of Defiance even. Just tanking up since he knows his Bristleback isn't going to be as value.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with his Lincolns, right? Like, there's still time. It could crush a Fiend's grip. Maybe it gets when someone gets initiated on, they might be able to, I guess.
And double Maelstrom now coming out for RIT here. They have Maelstrom on both the Viper and the Dragon Knight. So pretty important. And then if we look at Viper's next item, he's just queuing up straight for a Heart of Tarask.
Yeah.
Picks up the Reaver. And I think this is absolutely the play, right? Like, Tiny is like really his major only kill threat, getting bursted by the Tiny. So if he picks up a Heart, I don't think he has too much to worry about.
Yeah, he's the hero that can. If he survives the burst, he's in a good spot to just man fight. It's very difficult. He just stands inside his Nether Toxin. You're getting broken and damaged by Nether Toxin. You're getting damaged by Corrosive Skin. Viper has no problem turning around and fighting it to survive a initiation, and that's exactly what Heart's gonna let him do.
How close is called Ags here? 300.
Yeah.
Wow, now he's got it. Gets it on that creep wave.
Well, let's see what he does. I'm not sure that the Ags is the item they need.
I mean, he's already got it. It's going to him on Courier.
We'll see what he can do with it. His teams, I don't feel that Stony Brook can use the Ags.
Tiny actually been farming pretty quickly. Finishes the Echo Saber, goes immediately for a Chrysalis, and like I said, this is definitely the item he needs. He needs to be doing the physical damage, but I think the Viper kind of foresaw this, and his itemization is great as well, going for that Heart. So it'll be interesting to see if he will be able to put out enough damage to deal with them. But I think
Tiny loves Bloodlust. Bloodlust is insane. Tiny really needs attack speed, and he hates trying to itemize for it because he doesn't have inventory slots. Bristle's chasing Xanthos bottom. Xanthos blinks away. Xanthos is just cheeky. Very cheeky this game. Causing space, causing a ruckus.
His item build is so perfect.
Tiny gets slept top. Is there a TP follow-up? Yes, there is from Doggy. Now, Ogre's coming in. They're going to stun Bane. Bane did actually cast Fiend's Grip. Counter initiation. They're going to blow up Bane. They're going to blow up Bane. Eradicate's very low. Tiny's going for a crit. Eradicate's going to take in a one more auto attack. They trade Eradicate, but in return, they're going to get a Tiny...
25 health. And he's okay.
There we go. There's the Fire Breath. Is Dragon Knight gonna be able to do something? Well, Pugna showed up now and he's gonna start draining Xanthos out with no health. He has no mana. And he's taken out. Coddle was traded for it, but definitely a better trade for Stony Brook. Now, Dragon Knight is going to try and turn on Pugna. He's getting very aggressive at this. He's not actually taking much damage. However, Pugna with a full mana bar will turn it around. Ogre doing a fantastic job body blocking, but realizing it's futile. They're not going to do enough damage to deal with this Dragon Knight, even if they get all their spells. Too tanky.
Meanwhile, bot, Shu just pushing in.
Shu. Yep, Shu's doing Shu things down here.
The Tiny got such a great combo. Doggy TP'd in probably to one of the worst spots, right next to the Bane, basically. So even though he came in hoping that that Fiend's Grip wouldn't get interrupted, Ogre stops it immediately. Then he gets a full Avatos and a Cleave and free toss onto both supports immediately.
Doggy were just right in the middle of all of that.
Yeah.
That was getting 3-man Tiny combo. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by...
Eradicate gets bot tower, which is
nice.
Great
That's
there.
2 denied towers now this game. They denied mid lane as well. I'm very impressed with Stony Brook's Tiny. Especially after game 1 and 2, this Tiny actually look.
Yeah, this is the first time Tiny has felt like a carry, right? And he's been played as a carry in both of the previous games, and he felt very underwhelming. Reverse sleep.
Work and just take the sleep off. And look at this. She was in a very dangerous spot. He's gonna get broken with stun. He's gonna get Luna. He's gonna get Dragon Slave. His Blade Mail's not gonna do much because
all the spells are already fast. Oh, Tiny on the back.
Tiny kills both supports. All right, let's see what we can do here. But look at Dragon Knight. He's right on top. He's doing the same thing, right? There's the Coddle getting taken out. Next up, we're gonna break the Dragon, or we're gonna combo the Dragon Knight. He gets the Son of a Blood. Looks like RIT's not gonna be able to follow it up. Alright, well, a Coddle for a Bristleback. Bristleback actually used buyback there. So, how was the gold change that fight? RIT, winning on the gold, not winning on the XP though.
Yeah.
They are going, Stony Brook's going to take towers. Stony Brook's going to look
to go high.
If Bristleback gets caught out here, this could be just absolutely catastrophic for Stony Brook. No buyback result.
I don't think they're gonna stay too long. I mean, if he gets taunted into another toxin, he dies. Bane still has Fiend's Grip, but
they need to respect that with another toxin.
Stony Brook's playing this really well. They were in a really bad situation, and honestly, this Tiny's itemization, and their fighting has like I'll be honest, Tiny has played this so well. Picks up a double damage. They're gonna go right in a roach.
I don't know if this is a good roach yet though. As soon as the creep rate goes down, I think RIT is in a position where they can test. Oh my god, look how fast roach is fine.
Yeah, the nasal goo bless this Tiny. 1400 damage grids.
Yeah. Twice in a row, but by Roshan. Okay. Aegis doesn't act. They actually put the Aegis on Tiny. Is that the play?
I think you need to.
I think you have to put it on Bristleback. Bristleback doesn't have buyback, and if Tiny dies and his combo's not up, he just respawns and dies again.
I think with Bristleback is like he's kind of just a distraction for Tiny at this point, right? Like they kind of want them to kill the Bristleback because then they blow big spells on him, right? Tiny is the only hero that is going to be super effective in these fights. So I think that's their mindset maybe is if Bristle dies, he dies, and maybe Tiny will get like a kill or two in the process. And that, I mean, that's what we saw last fight, right? I
mean, Tiny is carrying the team this game, so
yeah.
I can see that argument for it. From just a hero point of view, though, it does seem like it would make. In my mind, I just see it having a bigger impact on Bristle. But let's see what Tiny's done because, I mean, I expected very little from Tiny, and he's pulling his weight and then some this game. He's just about to level 20.
Radiant's top tower is under
Dragon Knight just picked up his 2x regen in armor, which is going to be pretty important for him this game. So now he's up to 33 armor.
Look at the pushing power too from RIT. Yeah, so Dragon Knight can definitely survive in the long fights, but Stony Brook looks like they want to play the quick game. They're gonna take the Aegis and bring it right into RIT's base. Now it is nighttime. And there's a huge call for Santos. Grabs the Tiny. He's gonna get killed, and the Cuddle might go down too. There's a Bristleback. Oh my god, the break in Tiny and Bristle Shoot's gonna get taken out. They're gonna have a respawn. Respawn Tiny's gonna kill Bane, but he's gonna get caught out. Now I think he might die. No, he's very scared. Viper backs off. Ogre's gonna try and run away now, and Xanthos right there to chase. He gets the call on him. Ogre's gets caught out. Xanthos is hugged up. He's unable to find him. Now what happened to our Tiny?
Oh my god, that was such a phenomenal taunt. He catches 3 right there on the taunt. Bristleback gets Fiend's Grip on the Nether Toxin as well. And just,
right on the edge of like
the
taunt and Nether Toxin, they were maximum range. How they were so perfectly coordinated. That's just calculated Dota. That's what we expect from the Rochester's team technically. And now they have quite a lot of time. They know Bristleback doesn't have buyback, so there's 30 seconds. They don't have to ever worry about him back. They're gonna take this time to push out and gain control of the map.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Stony Brook looked very scary. Do you think Stony Brook is still in a position to pressure RIT's base, or do you think that after that fight, RIT is gain control of this game?
I think after a play like that, it's still not to say like they're ahead by any means, like they're ahead in farm, but Stony Brook I think still has like a little bit of momentum. But at the same time, Viper picks up his heart. He gets his level 20, the 100 Viper Strike DPS. It's looking more difficult for Stony Brook. Like I said earlier, I don't think you can take this game late against RIT, and they did not get a Rax off of that Aegis push.
Oh, actually, we're going to see Dragon Knight initiate on Pug. That's their mid player, man. Don't kill him like that. That's how you kill a support. Perfect L, doggy. He's never missed a stun in his life. And Eradicate. Look at all these flappers just beating down towers up here. They're gonna go for the push. They're gonna make Pugna buy back.
Yeah, and Caudle. It's nighttime. Caudle not feeling too great right now. They're getting some good damage on the tower for sure.
Blink as we go. Xanthos mana drain. We saw that all last game. Ogre's gonna get taken out. He tries to set a fight with his body, but it ends up just dying. Now Bristleback's going to try and start the fight running in. He does have Lotus Orb for 1 second. The LSA connects. Great stun by Doggy. They're going to throw Bristleback, but they are hitting him back. Break is applied, and he's getting absolutely melted. Pugna Ward is doing damage to the back. Pugna desperately trying to keep Bristleback alive. Second fight into him. Tiny gets caught out by the Fiend's Grip, and now Tiny's in an awful position. Xanthos doesn't have mana to get the call off, so it looks like both teams might just retreat, especially with Fiend daytime. Caudle's able to deal this team up. Dragon Knight is stunned. Are they going to go for the toss? They actually toss him straight up instead of back, and now Tiny's the one in the risky position. Pugna will break the sleep, sleeping himself in a safe position, and now Stony Brook's going to look to push, but once again, RIT teleports out in their face.
They're already gone.
One thing I want to point out quickly is there's actually a mistake in Caudle's skill build. You can't max all 3 of your non-alt spells, because at level 15, you want to get your talent and you want to get your ult. You have an Aghanim.
So by maxing out all of the spells, yes, it make the choice. If you go level 2 alt, you go for the obvious 300 cast range, which is absolutely insane and would be a mistake. No way that talent should be in the game.
Do you usually leave one out of Chakra Magic, or do you keep one out of
it depends on the game. I think that the Heat Coddle, you need all of his spells to be maxed. Like all of his main kit are insanely powerful, but also every game is different. You could go through Illuminate, you can go 3-point Mana Leak, or you can go 3 points Chakra, depending on the game and how you're playing. Because sometimes you just need to be a mana bot, and sometimes you really need to be supplying the Illuminates, and some games you really just need to be casting Mana Leak.
If there wasn't enough break in the game already, Dragon Knight picks up his Silver Edge, has his BKB done as well, and they're hunting this Bristleback.
Dragon Knight's level 23. Look,
he's getting recalled.
Gosh, they're gonna.
They even have Ward Vision? They didn't. They just were feeling it.
Radiant are
We called out.
Scanmid.
But look at top lane. Xanthos. You see him.
Xanthos. Xanthos gets mana leaked. Xanthos is going for the Lotus. Xanthos is healed. There's the bucket ward drop. Xanthos is blade mailing. He gets pushed into the corner. He gets viciously as the they're gonna hold the respect. Xanthos taking a lot of damage, has no mana. Definitely has to try and run. He's not too scared yet. Bane is absolutely destroyed by Tiny, but now Tiny's in a rough spot. His stun reduction allows him to get out. Shoes pushing into the base, blade mail. BKB's pop fight. Dragon Knight, who's going to turn, cleaving everyone, catches the Pugna out. Pugna might die in this short stun. Desperate trying to keep his team alive. Everyone's helping Pugna. Pugna runs away. Lotus sharp to the air. Now, this time, Tiny wants to go in, and this time, Tiny's the one that needs to run away. Dog, you can pull let's say we're going to finish them off, and now this is on a good position. Great for it, Knight. Great Lotus Orb. That's what we've been waiting for. Although 34 minutes in, you want to see a little bit more from Lotus Orb than that.
Oh my God, Frankie.
Taking off by Viper, and we'll see Dragon Knight. Good push, the backs off and realize he can't catch them.
This Bloodlust keeping their team so fast, allowing them to retreat very safely. That fight could have been way worse.
It seems that Stony Brook feels like they really need to press the issue here, and one of the reasons, and what I mean by that is that they're kind of forcing fights, forcing the high ground. They don't want to take this game late. It's because they're not going to scale as well as RIT, and we see that a lot in the Tiny. Even with this amazing game he's playing, once again he's going to run out of inventory slots. He's already almost out of inventory slots. A lot of so it's very hard for him to stay relevant. That fight was Pugna runs in danger, Tiny runs in, and then he's in danger. You really want to end the game, but RIT's playing well together and keeping Stony Brook at bay. The longer the game is on, I think the better position RIT can be in. Do you think Stony Brook can scale, or do you think RIT is going to have this in the later game, I guess?
I think the Dragon Knight becomes impossible to play against. Yeah, I think the Dragon Knight will be doing way too much damage late game as we go, and it'll be too difficult for them to deal with. His level 25 talent is incredible, whichever one he goes with. So,
do you think he goes for the stun this game to take advantage of the break, or do you think he just gets the big boy strength?
The 40 strength, I don't know. Both are so strong. I think it might depend on his itemization, and then whether or not your Viper goes for a different, like if he doesn't go the Nether Toxin Silences, he might pick up a different, and goes to damage, then you might just see your Dragon Knight going for the stun, and maybe Viper turns into more of the damage dealer.
Potentially, yeah. Viper, not known for his ability to skip damage dealer, but does keep utility in the. Dragon Knight is overall quite balanced, tanky, utility, and Axe is questionable. Axe's scaling really does depend on his item choices. If Axe can, because Axe needs his farm to scale very badly, but he doesn't scale as a right clicker like many heroes do. He scales with his items he picks up. Let's see, what is Axe actually going for? He's going to continue on for the Lotus after picking up 3 kind of mid-game items. I like that, really committing to a strong mid-game. How do you feel about attacking Rock's counter Helix talent on Axe? It seems like really fun, but can you ever really go that?
I don't know. I think it's more of a meme than anything. The health regen on Axe is so value. It's really hard to ever not get it.
Yeah, it's kind of his role as a hero.
Yeah, and you always pick up. A lot of people decide to pick up the 40 attack speed at level 10, and even with that talent, I still don't think the attacks proc counter Helix is any good.
Roshan is engaged. after a smoke is used. No knowledge of this from or by Rochester's new technology.
And Tiny picked up an AC actually in the last few minutes.
Jeez. Tiny has his Black King bar Q. He's really just whoever gets hit by Dragon Tail is just in a terrible position. There's still no way. Like, oh, there's the Force Staff on Ogre. There we go. And a Force Staff on Carl. Okay, good. They both have one. So they do have a way to deal with Dragon Tail now. The thing
Tiny is one of those heroes that doesn't care too much about it, right? Because he has
the status reduction.
Yeah, status resist from his ult. So getting like Fiend's gripping that target or stunning him or Viper striking him just feels so bad and so not worth it.
And then, yeah, he does get Force Staffed out as well if they really do need it.
But do you think Tiny picks up the 3 toss charges or the avalanche cooldown?
They're both really good. The 3 toss charges, you can lock someone down forever, even if the damage is irrelevant. But I think Tiny needs to get the avalanche cooldown this game.
I agree. I don't think their team has enough stun, like enough reliable stun to not get it.
Exactly. They've been having problems with stun all game. Both increases damage a lot because the avalanche cooldown now puts his combo on a 11-second cooldown, which is the cooldown of toss.
Yeah, just the toss.
Rather than the 17-second cooldown that it is of avalanche. And that's the thing is, we've talked about it 100 times throughout this series, is that Tiny casts all of his spells at the start of the fight, and then he has a huge amount of downtime where he's just waiting to do it again. Avalanche is going to reduce the time between his combos. I think that's going to help him more than being able to lock someone down with a triple toss.
Dragonite picks up the 40 strength, by the way, at level 25.
I mean, both of them are great.
Yeah.
And with the Lotus Orb and status resistance, the 40 strength is always going to help him, where maybe the Dragon Tail might get, he might counter, the Lotus Orb might cause the Dragon Tail talent to hurt Dragon Knight.
And it's just so much more health that they need to chew through, right? Like, you think about it, like, he doesn't even have a heart. This guy has very little to no health items right now, right? He just has BKB and the Silver Edge, and he's sitting at 4,100 health.
God, like,
so
Tiny needs to crit to kill Dragon Knight. Pugna actually has a Dagon queued up and an Aeon Disc recipe in his backpack.
He didn't even bother going for the Ags this game, which is surprising. I think I've seen this build recently, just getting the kind of like Aether Lens and Veil and Dagon and just relying on burst damage more than necessarily like sustained damage through your ult. But we'll see. See how it goes.
It's a difficult game. He needs to be putting out damage, but he also needs to be alive to do it. And with how much damage his team is taking, he ends up spending his ult healing his teammates sometimes instead of.
Tiny went to top charging, by the way.
Okay, let's see what he can do with this. I want to see if he can put this to work here. Xanthos looking for a call. Again, Stony Brook is pressuring, but look at this split push top. That's a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, you can't let him just click your tower.
He's not scared of Ogre. He's not scared of Ogre.
Ogre's gonna die.
And who's next? Oh my god, what an amazing Shadow Blade.
Go back lane. They're on the run too. If Axe finds a hero here, this is certainly a kill.
Oh, Dragon Knight's
TPing in with the Lina. Dragon Knight's TP gets stopped though.
Yeah, long TP from Lina. There we go. Axe waiting to use his Battle Hunger until Lotus Orb is taken down.
Not enough patience.
There it is. And he's gonna back up.
Dragon Knight actually just BKBs and kills Pugna.
Dragon Knight, man, you were supposed to lose your lane and now you're just winning the game.
Actually, Xanthos just found Coddle. At level 4 Battle Hunger.
Word is going to try and put him to sleep and wait for his teammate to catch up, but Coddle is extremely fast. 384 move speed. He's gonna...
He's not... Yeah, okay. Once Tranquil's clear.
Okay. Well, buybacks are available, but it looks like RIT is still a ways away.
I mean, they got tier 3. First one to break high ground.
I think RIT's gonna try and make a move because they have an Arcane Rune on Dragon Knight. So our Dragon Knight wants to cast his ult before this Arcane Rune goes down. He still has 36 seconds. He'll pressure this. She wants to show up, but is Dragon Knight scared? Dragon Knight has 4 levels on him. Alright, 3 toss
Just Tiny's looking for someone else right now is what it is.
Yeah, can you catch him? Dude, look at Dragonite's positioning. He's causing so much chaos. Dragonite is the bristleback of last game.
Yeah, he is. I think it is just there's so much counterplay to this bristle that they don't care. They can't frontline him like they can the Dragonite.
Alright, next objective.
Bot lane tower. Gonna go down already?
Now, does Dragonite manage? No, Dragonite's Arcane Rune actually expired before his ult came off cooldown, unfortunately.
Actually, it has 2 health and it is not gonna die. And Ogre might just go deny that.
No? He wants to see it?
Question
Nullifier just got picked up on, I believe it's on the courier.
Those Dragonites, right? Yep.
Ooh, Eradicate's getting his AC is actually what's coming out. Did Dragonite finish his Nullifier?
Yeah,
yes,
Dragonite got the Nullifier and then he's opting for Blink Dagger. I wasn't sure which order he was going to build those two, but I really like the Nullifier pickup. Okay,
so how Nullifier into Lotus? It purges the Lotus, but does the Lotus reflect the Nullifier?
Lotus, I believe, does reflect Nullifier.
Okay. But a Nullifier also
I actually don't know. I know I tested all those interactions when it came out, but I actually just don't see it very often, so I don't remember.
Fair enough. We'll see soon enough, I'm sure. Now, Stony Brook's kind of on the back foot here. They really need to make a move. They can't really confidently cross the river at the moment. Dagon is actually the item for Ogre Magi.
Is it really?
Yes. Well, he can use Decrepify to get a lot of value out of it, but he does have a keypad.
I don't know why he just hasn't gotten an Aether Lens yet.
I guess that's why they went for the triple toss to go for the Decrep of use as well. But I feel like Dragonite, Corrosive Skin on Viper, and Axe has a hood. I don't think you can really abuse magic damage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like he just needs an Aether Lens to sit a little bit farther back in fights, give him some mana regen as well. I mean, Ogre has some serious mana problems without a few items, so I don't know why he hasn't picked them up yet.
Ogre's hit that stage of the game where he's just a bloodlust spot, and Tiny's hitting that stage of the game where he's going to start, he's not going to scale as well as other heroes because he simply just can't scale anymore.
Yep.
Whereas
Dragonite still has technically one more item slot. Tiny's done. He's full. He's 6-slotted.
And check out Xanthos has his Pipe of Insight queued up, so if it already wasn't enough magic resistance on the 3 tanky cores from RIT, they're about to get a lot more, 10% magic resist aura.
And Feeble damage reduction picked up on Bane over the movement speed, which I love. So your Enfeeble now does 220 damage reduction against this Tiny.
That's actually humongous. Tiny, because especially with Tiny committing to a crit.
He's the only hero he needs to actually hit with that, if you think about it, right? Like, Dire's
he
lineup...
could hit Bristle, but yeah, it's like you want the Tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny's committed to crit and Echo Saber. If you're able, like, just 1 Enfeeble off the Echo Saber, that's what, 440 damage? Was it 220 you said? Yeah. 440 damage reduction for the Echo Saber, and then he's also impeding the Daedalus value. Tiny does have his BKB. Is that 10 seconds? Yes. So this next fight could be the fight we need to see from Tiny.
And those scouts a DD, and Dire, they see it? I don't know actually. I don't think they technically see it.
Xanthos dodges the avalanche, gets a Lotus Orb. Tiny's put to sleep. Call on Pugna, but it's not really much that's coming from it. Beans grip on Tiny, but he got his BKB off. Wurt almost gets destroyed in the backline. Pugna does get destroyed in the backline. Pugna's forced to buy back. Xanthos is making an insane amount of space. Xanthos doesn't actually die because Bristleback is killed on the break. Ogre's now the one caught out. He's nullified. He's obliterated. Buyback from Bristleback. Buyback from Pugna. Buyback from Tiny. Buyback from Lena. Bane is taken out. Ports for everything.
Oh my gosh.
Gold change.
Yeah,
check out the gold change.
Yeah, that was like a 50.
RIT just got access to their bank accounts and drained them dry.
What is Bristleback doing?
Wait, no, dude. Tip him. Tip him, Eradicate. That's 110 seconds. Oh.
1 second. Doesn't even matter.
Doggy missed his first LSA of the game, I think.
Wow. I do not... Okay. I don't know how Bristleback got there, but if it was the Coddle that recalled him, Coddle just lost them the game. I actually don't know how Bristleback got there.
Bristleback is the most important piece to Stony Brook's draft, and he's gone. Out of the game for over a minute. the barracks are gonna fall 5 seconds on fortification slot.
And by the way, Eradicate did pick up the 120 damage talent at 25, right? So he does a lot.
He's back. Yeah.
Dire's bottom barracks
God, and he's going for the Bloodthorn. He's not gonna even need it though.
No.
Bristleback probably doesn't get to play the game anymore.
Can we just take a moment to look at I Have Two Fingers, this Dragon Nate? Should we just look at his bank account real quick?
This is like an Arteezy pub game.
This
for
is
him.
this is like tax evasion for sure right here.
Yeah, so what's he do? He sells the Soul Ring.
Sells the Soul Ring, gets his bots, gets his blink, buys a Moon Shard.
Blink. Yeah, he still needs a Moon Shard.
I mean, this hero's
so
not
AC
gonna die.
AC and Heart picked up on Viper. Those are 2 items.
Yeah,
that
it's
Dragon
like,
Knight
he doesn't need to
couldn't
get an AC
afford.
this game because Viper already has one.
Oh, he bought something. He's down 2,000 gold. What did he buy?
Ooh.
Dragon Knight. He just lost.
He
2,000
bought
gold.
Boots of Travel.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, he should get bots, sell the Soul Ring, get his Blink Dagger, and get a Moon Shard. But I guess he's keeping Soul Ring for now.
Is Blink Dagger his item? You could just get another fighting item. I don't know what you get. I mean, would you go Eye of Scotty? I mean, it's a little bit weird, but look at their cores.
I mean, if you want to damage, you go.
Here we go.
Dangerous.
Zathos goes in. They catch the Pugna. There's the Nullify, but the Aether Lens is going to help him out. Now, a BKB Dragonite has no problem beating down a broken Bristleback, and then a BKB Bristleback is going to run away. Dragonite is in great shape. Doggy actually gets taken out, but Tiny had to commit his BKB and his life. Fiend's Grip will be counter committed, but amazing Force Staff. We've been waiting for it all game, and then he eats the cheese on the high ground, looking down at the haters. Bristleback is taken out though, and what happened last time was Elena Rack. What happened this time? Likely the same, with no fortification up. Pugnaward and Illuminate are going to try and push RIT back, but they're really not that scared. Xanthos screws it by blinking right into everything. Tiny gets an amazing Avalanche toss combo with just one. He is silenced, he can't cast anything more, and on the Nether Toxin is broken down. Ogre Magi manages to stay alive and actually beats down the Dragon Knight, who buys back. A 13k gold lead for RIT, only missing a support against Stony Brook with 2 cores. Looks like they're going to try and push again. Almost catching Ogre out, makes it away narrowly, and RIT has a full health, full mana Dragon Knight. He doesn't have his ult, but he does have the will to beat down the right barracks.
Yeah, I don't know how you deal with this Dragon Knight anymore. Like, Tiny is your primary damage source.
Everything. Pugna is the only source of damage to kill Dragonite, and Dragonite's regenerating at 72 HP. No, it's Axe at 72 HP. Dragonite's only at 65, excuse me. Xanthos, with the last of his mana, jumps in. There's the Nullifier on Pugna. His Aether Lens hasn't cooled off, and before the stun ends, he is killed. The last barracks is going to go down. We're going to see Mega Creeps for the Grand Champions, Rochester Institute of Technology, seeing something they've seen over and over again. Their opponent calls GG, and there we have it. RIT has yet to lose a match.
Man, what a game! This was good. I honestly, I thought RIT had this in the draft, and it kind of shows here. Like, their core matchups are just so good. This Bristleback, dominant last game, completely a non-factor this game, right? Like, what did you see as far as Bristleback?
I actually really loved the Dragonite against him, and more so, I loved sacking the Dragonite against him. Bristleback knew what he wanted to do. They were already warmed up. RIT identified that they're not going to get anything out of this lane. With 2 heroes, they're just going to keep losing, so let's just only leave the Dragonite. And Dragonite managed to get the levels. He got a little bit of farm, nowhere near what Bristleback did, but Dragonite was able to get enough levels to slow Bristleback down wherever he went. Bristleback was unable to push the T2 bottom, so he rotated top. Dragonite went top and sat there for minutes farming against Bristol, and it's like that seems not the greatest thing, but we saw last game how Bristleback wants to play. Bristleback doesn't want to play a slow game like Dragonite does, and at 50 minutes here, Dragonite didn't care about Bristleback in the long run, even though Bristleback was rolling over Dragonite in the end of the game. It was just 2 Bristleback games played the same way, but with very different outcomes. We had the Bristleback game that Bristleback wanted, and the Bristleback game that the Rochester Institute of Technology wanted.
Yeah, and
I played the drafts. I thought were also very impressive, as you mentioned, with RIT's core choices.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
They really were. I think overall, like, RIT maybe have expected the fact that they were going to see that Coddle Bristle coming out again in this next game, and it seems like they definitely had a plan for it. So I don't know if
fantastic
it's
adaptation in their draft. They dealt with it handily. Even with the game going to 50 minutes, it never really felt like RIT had lost control. Even when it wasn't good for them, they still had moves to make, and they made those moves. And I want to give a shout actually to Xanthos. Looked like he was very comfortable in that last game. He was just making space. He
Yeah.
was causing havoc. I loved watching him play that game. And I think another thing is the lack of stuns. How do you look at the support duo? Like, tell me how you feel about Doggy's Lena teaming up with Worst Bane compared to the Coddle Ogre. Like, I don't even think you can compare how effective the support duos were. RIT supports were, they just completely outclassed Stony Brook that game. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree, and I think the Coddle Bristleback telegraphs a lot of what your laning stage is going to be like, right? When you pick those heroes, this is a static lane. We're not really going to rotate out of here. We're not going to this is where we're going to be. We need to make sure that we set up Bristleback for a good game. And Ogre, relatively a similar hero, doesn't rotate very well. Like, if he does, it's usually going to be with a +1. And Ogre is one of those heroes where you pick him usually with a weaker lane partner. So
yeah, Ogre's strength is just beating people down in lane.
Yeah, so picking Ogre or picking those heroes means that your lanes are relatively static, and RIT on the other hand picked two heroes that can lane relatively well by themselves, allowing that Lena and Bane to make a lot of space in that early game. So they ganked the Pugna, they made rotations top kill Tiny, and yeah, it's a great adaptation, like you said, to what we saw in game 1, and I'll just shout out honestly to RIT's draft. I think that those last 2 picks, hands down, won them that game.
For sure, their draft adapted and their game style adapted, being able to counter the Bristleback Coddle after getting destroyed by it, and then being able to counter the 2-1-2 after losing it. They're here to play. They're not a one-dimensional team, and this is what I love to see, and this is why they're the grand champions, and this is why no one's able to take a series off them in the preseason. But honestly, I'm excited to see both these teams play again.
Yeah, as a team, we'll see these teams in playoffs. Like, both these teams are exceptional, and I really I really want to see how they continue. Is there a team that can take a series off of RIT at this point? Like, I really don't know, but yeah, congratulations to RIT. Really, I mean, well played all 3 games.
Train rolling.
Yeah, Stony Brook, really good attempts. You guys those were honestly some of the 3 best games we've seen so far in CSL, and good luck going forward. Any final thoughts, Carlton, or any shout outs you want to make before we close it up for the night?
Well, I would like to say that unfortunately I'm going to close down my coaching business. I know that I've helped eradicate a lot in both his drafts and gameplay. After seeing him do so well today, my job here is done. There's nothing more I can really contribute to the Dota community. However, if you do want to keep up with me, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch, Carlton, CARLT0N. But Ricky, if I was looking to find a talented, handsome gentleman like you, where would I find you on social media?
It's right here on the screen at rcryptic. Pretty much find me there on everything. But yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Ricky, until next time.
Yeah, we'll see y'all Wednesday night with another great series, I am sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much. I'll see you guys soon.